My name is Mitch Rylee. I attend Covenant Catholic High School in class of 2022, and I'm signed with Miami of Ohio.
Mitchell Rylee,
Sir,
welcome to What's in Your Bag.
appreciate you having me up here.
No problem. Now, do you remember the first time we met?
Shining Stars, I know that.
Yes. Do you remember the first meeting?
It was a tryout, wasn't it, at, I want to say, Walnut Hills?
No. It was at Newport Central Catholic High School.
Oh, we had practice there, yeah.
Shannon Miner brought us all. Shannon Miner, shout out Shannon, head coach of North College Hill. We had a meeting after practice. I showed up and it was in that conference room. And I
Overlooking the city.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And we talked, and I talked about the AAU program and kind of dove into that. But one of the reasons, I texted you and I asked you to come on the show. And one of the reasons I wanted you on the show, because from that time that I met you to right now, I think you have personally grown and matured so much on and off the court. And you've battled through a lot of adversity and tragedies, which we're going to get into shortly. And I think it's just great for young people out there. I think young people are going through so much. And if they can look and watch this and find something in your journey they can apply to theirs and something positive happen, I think that is just perfect. So I'm excited to have you on.
Me too.
Now, here's what we do. Anybody that comes on, I ask them to bring in a bag.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get into your bag in a second.
Yes, sir.
And then we have 3 items.
One of my items got 3 things, but it's like all 3 things go with the one thing.
Okay, I like that. Something different.
Yeah.
And I got something different for you at the end.
I'm ready.
I think you're gonna like it. So the 3 items, we're gonna talk about a pair of shoes. Okay, and that pair of shoes has to represent, your journey in life in basketball and something special. And then the 2 items also represent your life journey and basketball journey. And the beauty of what we do, I have no idea what you brought. And when I text you, I said, don't tell me, just pick them out and bring them. And I think that makes our conversation very free-flowing, right, and easygoing. So I'm excited to get started.
Sir.
Let's start with your bag.
I'm going to go with the shoes first.
Well, no, we got to start with the bag first.
Oh, with the bag.
We got to start with the bag. Tell me about the bag here.
So it's the Adidas 3SSB basketball bag. Got it on the 3SSB circuit last year.
Okay.
So this is my go-to. Not much design on it, just a classic black and white. I'm able to rock it with anything.
Yeah.
So I'll be using this for my classes at Miami next year, walking to school.
Okay.
Sorry. And it's pretty big. Holds like 2 pairs of shoes, all the clothes and stuff that I need in there as well. So it's convenient.
Sure. And so let's talk a little bit about AAU. Obviously, we talked about Shining Star, and you played AAU for us for a little bit, and you finished your career with Midwest Basketball Club.
Yes, sir.
Tell everyone out there, how has AAU basketball, helped improve you in your development in basketball?
Yeah, so like traveling, it's what's going to get me prepared for college, traveling on the road to away games 6-7 hours away.
Yeah.
I'm traveling to different states. We went to Texas a couple of times, Iowa.
Yep.
So it was just like getting into the routine of traveling at a younger age that gets me prepared for the next level. And then, just playing top-level players every game.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was playing Mikey Williams, Bronny James, Chris Livingston, all top-level dudes. And, it just like every single game feels like it's a college-level game because you're playing top-notch dudes. And then you're just getting a different feel for the game that you've never seen before.
So many people watching you, eyes on you. You've got all the video,
and
folks.
People are gonna say it's pressure, but it's like you get used to it to where it's not pressure. You always gotta be yourself on and off the court. You can't let the cameras get to you, or the coaches get to you, or the big crowds get to you. You just need to go out there and play your game and be you.
So when you're playing guys like Mikey Williams, Bronny James, and those guys, was there a game or a time when you played and you were like, I belong out here? Because I think, Mitchell, there's so many players out there that are uncertain about themselves and their game. And sometimes with AAU basketball, you develop that confidence because you'll go against somebody that's, a 5-star, 4-star, highly touted, and they'll have success. And they go, I'm as good as these guys. Like, I belong. Did that happen to you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like basketball is a game of confidence. Without
No doubt.
confidence, you're not going to go do good because you're going to bring yourself down. But yeah, like after a couple games, like I started to do well. I was like, man, like I belong here. Like I think I'm at the D1 level. Like what can I do to get to the next step? So I just kept watching like the game film and like seeing my good things and my bad things and then correcting the bad things, getting in the gym, working on it, and just fixing it. And then my confidence just got brought up, and I felt like I was the man at times where I could do anything.
Yeah, for sure. And on your Midwest basketball team, you had a lot of high-level guys.
We did.
Would you shout out some of those guys you played with?
Yeah, shout out Gabe Cupps. He's going to Indiana.
Yep.
Reed Shepard, he's going to Kentucky. We got Rich Roth, just committed to Charlotte. Logan Woods, he's going to Wright State. AJ Sheldon going to Ohio, so I'll be playing against him.
Yeah.
He's my guy. Ben Sutherland, he's going to Liberty.
Yep.
And then Mike, he's from Mongolia. He's going to Dayton.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was a great group of guys. Coming in there as a new me, I felt like I fit right in. Everybody made good relationships. We just had one goal. One goal is just on the court. We want to go out there and win, go play as best team basketball as we can, and then hopefully like everybody gets the offers. But when we play as a team, everybody does good. Making a good pass or a great pass, so it makes everybody else look good on the floor, which helped us all get Division I scholarships.
No question. And in AAU, that doesn't always happen because people have agendas, right?
Yeah, AAU, I mean, you would see a lot of AAU games where it's a one-man show. They're putting up 30 shots a game, getting double-teamed, trying to break it. I mean,
I see it all the time.
It's just crazy. But, like, the game's a lot easier when you're playing as a team and when you let the game come to you instead of forcing it.
And what did you learn from those other guys? And you look at some of the great players, not only now, but even of the past. I'm a big Michael Jordan fan, and Michael often talks about other guys that he watched growing up, the Elgin Baylors and all these players that he took bits and pieces from their game and applied it to his. Not only, one of the things I found fascinating with Michael Jordan was he talked about not only applying certain things on the court to his game, but he learned how to be a professional off the court from other guys. So with guys like Gabe Cupps and Reed Shepard, who are going to major Division I levels, did you pick up anything from those guys, being around so many guys that are going on and playing Division I basketball? What did you learn from them?
I mean, it taught me how to be more of a leader. They're Gabe and Reed are the grade below me, and they're being a leader to kids above them. So it kind of showed me how to be a leader on and off the court. It taught me how to win. I mean, they had, 8 D1 guys on one team. You got a Kentucky commit that can go drop 40 points, but instead of dropping 40, he's okay with having 12 points and 10 assists.
Right.
Really just doing anything that I can and that, like, to help the team win. And then just, like, how to carry myself off the court, We got a lot of media hype and all that stuff brought to us, like all the cameras on us. So we had to stay humble on and off the court and like carry ourselves in a professional way, which I learned that as well.
Good. I love it. Let's jump into your shoes. I'm a shoe guy, so
I got a bunch of sneakers at home, but so we got the Adidas Dame 6.
Okay.
They're a little beat up, as you can tell.
I can tell. So why these? Why'd you decide to bring these in?
So Dame 6 is actually my favorite hoop shoe. But like with these, I wore these all summer long. That's when like I really started to blow up with all the D1 coaches. So every time I played in these, I ended up getting one of my offers.
Really?
Yeah. So these just like hold a bunch of meaning because I'm a guy of goals and dreams.
Sure.
And playing Division I basketball was a goal and a dream of mine. And like for me being able to wear these while I accomplished my dreams and goals, it's just special. I mean, there's a lot of buckets in them and stuff like that, a lot of dunks, but it's just besides the fact that I played in front of all those coaches and got the offers in these shoes.
Awesome. So you're 6'8", is that right?
Yes, sir.
About 220?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for those out there that haven't seen you play, describe your game.
I'm gonna say I'm like a power forward, slasher. I like to play above the rim, get a lot of dunks and stuff. But I can handle it when I need to. My mid-range game is expanding right now, just staying in the gym, putting it on the floor, making my own shots. But I say just mostly driving it to the rim, pick and roll, pick and pop, or get a mismatch on me, and I'll take him in the post. So I can do a little bit of everything, but I just like to do whatever my team needs me to win.
Now, if people see you, you look the part, right? You got the height, you look athletic, you got the great size, you have all the ingredients, and you look like a basketball player. Let's talk about your development from freshman year to where you are now as a player, right? Because one thing to look the part, and it's another thing to play the part. So let's take it back a little bit. Your high school, you started out at Beechwood.
Beechwood High School.
Okay, as a freshman. So going in as a freshman, talk about your game at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't really good at the time. You and Coach Minor took a chance on the kid and saw potential in him. I appreciate you for that. But I was probably 160 at the time, 165, skin and bones, probably 6'4" at the time. Wasn't able to do much really, just to get under the rim and hope I catch the ball and go up with it. But I mean, just staying in the gym, the weight room, is just like really what got me here today. I mean, clearly I put on like 50 pounds since my freshman year.
Crazy.
Got a good build. I worked on my vertical a lot. I mean, freshman year I was doing 1-2-hand dunks, and that was about all I could do. But now I can get windmills, all kinds of stuff. Vertimax helped a lot, and just like a bunch of other stuff. Basketball is a very, I don't know how to explain it. There's so many things involved in the sport of basketball that can take you to where you want to be, like hip mobility, side-to-side footwork, just all kinds of stuff which help get you to the next level. And it's not easy. I mean, it's a day-by-day process, but once you believe in the process, the sky's the limit.
I think that's a great point, because basketball today, so many athletes have access to work on those things that you're talking about, the mobility, the footwork, and all those things. I mean, we see LeBron James puts $2 million in his body. Chris Paul's playing 17 years at 35 or however old he is. And there's so many things out there, and obviously you and many others are taking advantage of it. And the game's changed a lot too.
It has.
Like if you played high school basketball with me at Roger Bacon, back in 1994, you'd be down there and you would not leave there, right? So it's a different game.
That's how it was freshman year.
Yeah.
I mean,
so did you, and help tell me and our watchers out there, your freshman year, what level did you play?
So I played all three. So I get moved down to freshman when they needed me. I started JV, and I was kind of like a bench warmer on varsity.
Okay.
Saw minutes every then and there.
That's kind of cool. I don't know anybody that's ever done that. So you got a taste of all three.
It was a lot of hours in the gym.
Did you ever get thrown into a varsity game freshman year?
I did.
How was that? Were you nervous?
First game of the season, I got thrown in like second quarter, and it was like a 6-point game. I'm
what?
Like, it was. I mean, I was nervous.
Yeah. Sure.
It's a whole nother level from JV basketball to varsity basketball.
No question.
But I mean, I didn't do too good. But I got in at the end of the game sometimes when we were up big. Got in the region final game against CovCath. We lost, but at that time I was like so starstruck that I was playing on NKU's floor in front of all those people.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it was crazy. There's some days when I was at school from 7 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night because I had all three games that I had to dress for. But like dressing varsity as a freshman helped me gain a better feel for the game. I was seeing those dudes every single night, and those are the dudes that I face every night now, which helped me understand the game and get a better feel for it.
That was great that Beechwood did that. Obviously, they saw a lot of your potential. They said, this kid's special. We need to make sure we develop him. And you were at Beechwood for how many years?
So I was at Beechwood from kindergarten to the end of my sophomore year. And then I transferred over my junior year to Covington Catholic.
Right. And so I want to talk about leaving Beechwood, going to CovCath, and obviously, Beechwood has a very good tradition with basketball. Shout out Scotty Drought.
Scotty Drought is my boy.
Who you played with.
Yeah.
Great kid. So what made you want to leave and go to CovCath?
Really, just like the academic, it was during COVID. I mean, everybody was unsure what was going to happen during COVID. We were shut down for however long. Things weren't opening, schools were going online,
Mm-hmm.
all that crazy stuff. The world was just crazy at the time.
Yep.
There was no answers at all. There was no vaccine. So CovCath was going in person to school 5 days a week. I mean, it was strict and all, but being able to be in person at a school helps my education a lot. Miami's a top-notch school,
Mm-hmm.
Harvard of the Midwest, and I needed to be prepared for my Miami days. I can't go in there with a high school level education. I need to be more prepared towards the college level education.
Sure.
And then the basketball was just a bonus. Being able to play with CovCath was phenomenal. I mean, we went to the Final Four this year of the state tournament. We
Mm-hmm.
lost by 3 to Warren Central.
Mm-hmm.
But the days at CovCath were great, and so were my Beechwood people, and like all my times at Beechwood. I mean, I still have all my Beechwood people, and
Mm-hmm.
like with my CovCath people too. So I mean, it's great to have the support from the CovCath community and the Beechwood community. I had a lot of people from the Beechwood community text me when I committed that I never talked to in years, but they just wanted to say congratulations and wish me luck.
Did you get any flack when you left Beechwood to go to CovCath? Did you have any people kind of dog? You know how today is with social media.
I mean, a little bit. A lot of them are understanding, knowing the situation of the whole COVID thing.
Gotcha.
My aunt and my uncle are big on education as well. My aunt's a teacher,
Okay.
so she kind of had an inside scoop of other schools in Kentucky as well,
Mm-hmm.
which helped push the decision as well. But I mean, a lot of people were understanding. I mean, people still joke around with it to me, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I wouldn't have changed anything with just like the way that my future's gone, and everybody that's still in my life. I couldn't ask for a better life.
Yeah. So let's jump into your new family
Mm-hmm.
in CovCath. Obviously, CovCath has an extremely rich tradition of
Mm-hmm.
basketball, and I'd sit here and name all the great players at CovCath, but I feel like I would do a disservice to. I mean, there's just been so many.
Yeah,
The
there
Thielen
has.
brothers,
Mm-hmm.
Nick, Aiden, Bruce. I can go on. Grant Dis. So many great players there. Um, so you get to CovCath and play 2 years
Yes, sir.
at CovCath. In terms of your development as a player in person, I saw your maturity level just go through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
How did they at CovCath, not only your peers, your teammates, but the coaches, how did they help with your development?
It was on and off the court. It wasn't just on the court. At CovCath, they're big on relationships. So shout out Coach Rusas and Coach Frederick. Those are my guys at CovCath. Coach Frederick's taking care of me on and off the court. He's taking me to dinner. He's getting me like help whenever I need it. He's trying to coach me. He's not just trying to coach me on the basketball court, but he's trying to coach me to be a father one day,
Mm-hmm.
to be a husband, to be a good college athlete and a student.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much more than basketball, and I don't think many people understand that. People are going to go to a college just for basketball, but
Yep.
at the end of the day, basketball doesn't last forever. And they kind of put that in my head, so they just try to coach me to be the best person I can be, and just being a leader. Shortly after I was at CovCath, I started to realize who I was. I didn't know who I was at the beginning. I didn't know that I was going to be a potential college athlete. Didn't know I was going to be a 6'8", face of my city kind of dude. So once that all started to hit me, I realized that I needed to be humble, carrying myself professionally on and off the court, doing the right thing. But once again, just being myself, and they expressed that to me too. I mean, I'm a kid, so I want to be able to show who I am on and off the court, and I think a lot of people understand that.
Yeah, and you mentioned Joe Frederick, and he's been involved in basketball for a lot of years in the greater Cincinnati area. I saw your game, change quite a bit, develop. I know he spends a lot of time in the gym with a lot of players. I'm sure he did that for you.
Yeah, they're big on player development there. So
Yeah.
Coach Frederick, late nights, early mornings, opening the gym for me, getting in the gym with me, putting through different drills. CovCath is hard, academically and athletically. We don't have many off days.
Yeah.
Practices are hard. We're always
Demand
doing weights.
excellence.
It is. It is. it's discipline, which gets you ready for, a future job. 7:30 a.m. practices Saturday morning when you just won a big game. So it's discipline. Just player development daily. Like I said earlier, it's a building block day by day.
Yeah.
You got to trust the process, and I think my CovCath coaches put that in my mind early. First day I was there, that just trust the process and trust the coaches that were trying to help me, and they'll help me get to where I want to be.
And let's talk about Coach Rusatz a little bit. Since he came to Northern Kentucky area, he's installed a culture at CovCath. And there's just been so much success at CovCath from a basketball standpoint, not only what they're doing in high school, but then players going, on to college and being very successful. And also shout out Coach Rusatz's sons, Nick and Aiden, who were very successful as well on the basketball court. But Coach Rusatz being kind of the leader of the program, what has he meant to you in your development?
He's meant, basically, him and Coach Frederick have meant everything. CovCath is known as a top-notch basketball program now. Winning region and going to the Sweet 16 that's what's expected of you. Nothing less, nothing more. They express winning. I didn't have a great sense of winning. I had a sense of winning, but I didn't know what a sense of winning was at the region level, at the Sweet 16 level. And so, eventually I got there, and I understand what it felt like, and I fell in love with it. So I just wanted to keep winning. But they saw potential in me that I didn't see at the time. I always wanted to be a college athlete. I always liked the idea of it, but I never thought it'd really come to reality. But they saw it in me. They pushed me to where I needed to be. They were hard on me day in and day out. Countless times getting yelled at, countless times like all that stuff.
That means they love you.
Making them upset with doing the wrong thing, but they understand that I'm going to learn from my mistake. So if they tell me and they get on me, then I'm going to go and do it right, and then they don't have to get on me. So it's a part of being mature, not talking back, just doing what they asked, and then it makes everybody's life easier.
Yeah, and you have a family there in CovCath.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. So, all right, let's jump into your first item.
All right, so this is the 3-item one.
Oh, okay. All right.
So this goes back to me being big on dreams and goals.
Yeah.
So I got my 9th region Player of the Year plaque.
Okay.
Mr. Basketball Candidate plaque, and then my 9th region Player of the Year trophy.
Man, you got all kind of. That's excellent. That's excellent. Now, where do you put these? Are they like in your room? Do you have like an area? Yeah.
These chill on the wall. These just chill on a little desk in my room.
Why was it important for you to grab these and bring these in?
So, like I said earlier, I'm big on dreams and goals. You won't be successful in life without goals or standards, at least. So once I started to realize who I was and who I was becoming, I realized that, man, like, I can be good at this. Like, I can have a good legacy. Like, I can go win Player of the Year and become a Mr. Basketball candidate for the state of Kentucky. So I set this into my junior year. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. Win 9th region Player of the Year, become a Mr. Basketball candidate. And, I worked towards it. I knew that it wasn't going to be easy. Nothing in life is easy. You got to work for it. But, again, just trusting the process, working hard towards it, and then it just all started to flow. And then eventually they came, and I was voted Player of the Year and then the Mr. Basketball candidate.
Well, I think it's one thing, Mitchell, first of all, to have a vision, right? So, a lot of young people might have a vision of playing Division I or whatever it is, and then you need to set your goals that you talked about. But then I think where a lot of young people struggle is the execution to reach those. So when you pull these out, to me, I see your goals were reached because of the execution. And if you look at your high school season, you average 18 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, 71% from the field.
Yes, sir.
Like you said, Mr. Basketball candidate, you played in the Kentucky-Ohio All-Star game, which are big deals. Kentucky, Indiana.
Kentucky, Indiana is actually June 10th and 11th.
Okay.
So that's coming up.
Those are big deals.
Hmm.
I mean, those are big deals. So
It's all a milestone.
yeah,
You know, you can't go get I can't go get this and All-Star game and the Sweet 16 and the region all at one time. You know, it's a building. Like I said, it's a building block. Life is a building block. So
mm-hmm.
I had to build myself up for region.
Yep.
When region, I got to build myself up for the Sweet 16. After that's over, and then this was already built up, and then I had to build myself up again for the Kentucky Ohio game. Once that over, I built myself back up again for the Kentucky Indiana game.
Mm.
After that's over, I'm building myself up for Miami this summer.
Let's talk about that now.
Yes, sir.
It's a great segue.
Yes, sir.
Miami. Why Miami?
I went up there. Shout out Coach Frederick. He took me up there. Parents were on vacation. So he took me up there one morning, Saturday morning, August 1st to be exact. Took me up there, driving through campus, going to the arena. And I just fell in love with it. It was love at first sight.
Just walking around campus,
just
seeing
walking
the
around,
campus.
just
It's a beautiful campus, like in the middle, like some country stuff.
it's top. I mean, the country part is a little crazy. How you just go on this little road and you're in a big college campus. It's that all. How would you consider the buildings? Brick, rock.
I think most are brick. Yeah,
It's like all
brick.
the same
Yeah.
feel. It's just crazy that you're driving through the Rumpke dumpster area and the country roads and just boom on
This
a
is
big, beautiful campus.
It's like you're in a different world.
It is. I mean, I just fell in love with it. My relationship with the coaches at the time was top notch.
Yeah.
Which obviously, shout out to Jack Owens and Coach Rudder
Yep.
and the Miami staff for giving me a chance. Then I'm building my relationship up with the new Miami coach, Travis Steele.
Yep.
But I just fell in love with it. The education at Miami is top notch.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball can last me 4 years. It can last me 10 years if I go overseas. It's not going to be there for the rest of my life. So
Yeah.
after the basketball is done, I'm going to need to get a job. So with the Miami diploma, I think I set myself up for a really good future. I'm trusting the Miami education that's going to get me to where I need to be. And then just everything about Miami, it's close to home, about 45 minutes from where I stay.
It's close but far enough.
It's close but far enough, exactly. So I didn't want to go like 15 minutes away or 3 hours away. I think Miami is like the perfect time. I can have my family up for the games.
Sure.
They can come visit me, all that. My sister, I got two sisters. So shout out my sisters, Madison, Mackenzie.
Mm-hmm.
But Mackenzie, she's the second oldest one. She was in love with Miami. Coming out of high school, that's where she wanted to go. She visited there.
Mm-hmm.
But she got more money at UK, so she went to UK.
Okay.
Had a phenomenal academic career there, but it felt kind of cool to be able to brag to my sister that
Say
I'm going to Miami when that was
Yeah.
her dream school.
Yeah, no question. So what did and obviously Coach on that staff they were let go, but what did that staff when they offered you? What did they say they saw in you that they wanted at Miami so bad?
Yeah, so I was talking to them, I'd say 3 months, just kind of sending them film, all this.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple assistants come and watch me, and then we're playing up in Indianapolis at the convention center. I'm wearing these shoes. They got the whole staff there, like every single head coach, assistant coach, the strength and conditioning coach, the director of basketball operations.
Watching you.
They're all there sitting front row. So, I saw them.
So you knew everyone was there to watch you.
Yeah. So I saw
Were you
them.
nervous?
I can't get nervous, I got to be myself,
Yeah.
what I touched on earlier. But, I could feel their presence, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I played good. They watched me 4 games that weekend, and they were all sitting front row. Headed back to the hotel. Their head coach texted me like, "Hey, give me a call when you get back to the hotel." And they offered me, and just like they saw me being a big part of the team. They know what they were gonna miss after this year. Obviously, graduating all the dudes that they did, and what they needed was, and it was a sense that I can provide. From my leadership to my athleticism to my basketball IQ, just to who I am on and off the court is what helped, in their terms, represent the University of Miami.
Yeah, makes sense. So when they were let go as a staff and you heard about that, how did you feel?
I didn't know what to think. It hit me all at once. Uncle called me down. He knew about it before I knew about it. He told me. And shortly I just started to see the news, and it started to hit me. But I talked to them after they were let go. They wished me nothing but the best. Said they're always going to be supporters and fans of me. So I respect them a lot for that. You know,
That's cool.
They went out of their way when they're trying to find a new job to contact me and wish me luck.
That's cool.
And tell me that they were thinking about me.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, I'm like, man, like my coach just got let go. Like I signed up to play for him. I don't know who I'm going to sign up to play for now.
Yeah.
I thought about reopening my commitment. And then all this extra stuff. But I just let it play out until I found out who the new coach was.
And before we jump into that, you talked about opening up your recruitment. Who were some of the schools that were recruiting you prior to Miami?
So I had the Miami, Ohio offer. I had the Bellarmine offer, and I had a couple of D2 schools that offered me before I started to pick up. And then I was talking to schools like IUPUI, Toledo, Western Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky. There was just a bunch of schools that had a heavy interest in me, but you know, when I committed, they just didn't have enough time to offer me.
Yeah, gotcha. So Miami goes through the process of finding a new coach, and they settle in on Travis Steele, former Xavier coach, who I know very, very well.
Yes, sir.
A good friend of mine. He's actually coaching one of our Shining Star teams.
I saw that on your Instagram one time.
Yeah, he's coaching our third grade team.
Coach with a father at the same time.
I know. He is, so Mitchell, I will tell you this, Travis Steele is a great person. Beyond basketball, I think he does a great job on the basketball court, but he is a great person. Like when you finish at Miami, like he is a guy that will always be in your life. You know, and in that profession, you know, you'll run across coaches that need you for 4 years or 5, whatever it may be, and then once you're out, they don't need you as much.
See, and that's another thing. I'm big on relationships, and this goes back to basketball won't last forever. Either will me being coached by him, it won't last forever, but me having a relationship with him can last until the day me or him dies.
Yeah.
So that means a lot. You know, I can always count on you. You can always count on me. I can always count on Coach Steele, and he can always count on me. And that's what being a good father, a good husband, a good mentor, a good friend, whatever you want to call it, it's just way bigger than basketball or being a coach.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Or being a coach / AAU director. Yeah. It's way bigger than that.
For sure. Man, you've matured so much, man. It's crazy. Not that you were bad before, but you know, just seeing the process is really cool. So the conversation with Coach Steele, how'd that go? The first conversation.
Yeah, so it was late at night. It was like 11. I didn't have school the next day. He was going to call me the next day, but I was like, I'm free right now if you can call me. He just introduced himself, talked about what his plans are with the program. You know, he's big on player development. That's something you can't teach. That's something you got to work for. You know, and I'm about that as well, you know, with all the work that I put in to get me to where I am today. But I think being with him and his player development, I'll get to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So I'm trusting him, and I'm trusting his program, and his workout he's going to put me through is going to get me to where I want to be. Talked about rebuilding the program, you know, recruiting hard, the Midwest area, you know, like Chicago, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky. You know, we're going to get like a brand new practice facility, brand new locker room, all this kind of things to invest in our program to help get us to hopefully go win a MAC championship. But, you know, the practice facility and the locker room won't help us win. It's going to be the development. He's big on player relationships as well. You know, he told me first time he called me, he said, I'm going to be texting you every day. I'm going to be calling you a couple times a week just to get that relationship built so that, because I already had a relationship built with the old coaches, but now that it's a new coach, you know, we're running out of time. I would say he got hired about like a month ago.
Yeah.
So we got 2 months to build a relationship before I'm on campus, and I'm with him every single day. So, you know, we just built that relationship. So now we're cool with each other. We got a feel for each other. We're getting comfortable around each other. And then when I get up there, hopefully we just click and just get to work.
So today was your last day of school?
It was today.
Graduate next week?
Next Tuesday.
And then you're off in June?
June 12th.
June 12th to Miami.
There. So it's crazy. I got June 10th, I'll be in Owensboro, Kentucky, which is about 3.5 hours from where I stay, so probably close to 4 from around here. So that's June 10th. I got the Kentucky Indiana All-Star game that night. Stay in a hotel down there. I get in a car and I go to Indianapolis to play the Kentucky Indiana All-Stars again. And then I come back home that night, and the next day I'm going up to Oxford.
You excited?
I am. It should be great for me.
Let's living it up, man.
I mean, I've been committed since August 1st. You know, when I went up there with Coach Frederick, that was the day I committed.
Yeah.
I announced it on the 12th, so I've been waiting 9 months for this. You
Now
know,
it's coming. It's here.
it's all been like hitting me slowly.
Yeah.
You know, like, man, like I committed D1, like I'm getting my school paid for. I'm gonna get a great education. I turned all my dreams into reality. It didn't hit me at first. It was all I just committed to Miami. I didn't get a deep feeling for it. And then it was just a building block of it all starting to hit me. It's like, man, like hard work pays off.
Yeah. And you're very, like we've seen, you're goal oriented. Leaving a school like Miami with a degree and having played basketball, that looks great on your resume.
It does.
And so have you thought about, after you get out of college, what you plan to do?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about like the overseas route, but clearly it just depends on how my career goes.
Yep.
You know, nothing's for sure. I mean, I can get an injury or maybe I just don't fit in there or something like that. So we're going to see about that. But, you know, once I get the diploma, I'd like to become a coach one day. Or like anything to be around basketball. You know, my love for basketball is the highest I can get. So I want to keep that love and be around it for as long as I can. And then if that route doesn't work out, then I'll go somewhere in the business area. You know, I'm big in shoes, so I think it'd be cool one day to open up a little resale shoe store.
Okay.
And then just grow the brand and then move somewhere to a big city and get the biggest shoe store possible.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's like...
You gonna hook me up with some shoes?
You know, I got you.
You know I need some shoes, right?
You got to know.
That's true.
What shoes don't you got?
That's true.
But there's like the two hot ideas in my mind. You know, obviously going 4 years through college, anything can change. So my mind can change. But right now, I'm pretty stuck on those two.
Good. Good. Be careful up at Brick Street, right?
I stay away.
Shout out Will. All right, let's jump into your next item.
So
third and final here.
We already touched on this. This is the Kentucky All-Star jersey. Mind the number. I didn't get to pick the number.
Yeah?
Not a big fan of 42.
You're not? I was 41 in college. So
yeah, I'm
you're single? What do you like?
I've had a lot of numbers. This past year, I was number 5. So I'll be wearing number 5 in Miami.
Okay. What's that mean to you?
I wore number 5 my 8th grade year, and that's when life started to hit me. That's when I started to go through things. So I mean,
let's talk about that.
Yeah. So 8th grade summer, literally like 6 days before I'm about to be done with school, my mom passes away. You know, she was struggling with liver disease, in the hospital for about a month straight. She was up at UC at the hospital. We go up there one morning, they're like, she's not doing good. So we kind of had an idea that she was going to pass away. So, you know, I stayed in that hospital room the whole day until she passed away, which was around 5. A long day in the hospital room, I can tell you that, but it was much needed. You know, I was getting to spend my last moments with my mom, and I didn't know that at that moment I was too young. I wasn't mature. Everything was flashing too fast. I didn't know that she was going to be gone forever. I didn't know that she wasn't going to get to see me get the 9th Region Player of the Year or commit Division I or pick up a basketball. I didn't know that I lost my mom.
Yeah.
You know, that's just, life is fast. Life is crazy. You know, nobody has a perfect life. Life sucks.
Yeah.
So I was just going through it, and I was 5, and just kind of, as I gained maturity and got older, I got a different perspective on things, and realized that 5 was the number that I wore during the time. So the 5 kind of represents that I can get through anything on and off the basketball court, to always keep my head up and stay strong.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be bad plays. I'm going to make mistakes, but I need to keep my head up and stay strong and move on to the next play.
I love when players' numbers have meaning.
Me too.
It means something to them. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. And, you know, with your mom, and you talked about, and that's a tough age to lose, you know, a parent.
It is. I was
the maturity level of dealing
14 at the time. So, I mean, I'm still a kid, you know, I'm not even in high school yet, dealing with all this. I mean,
do you have any regrets from that time in terms of, you know, understanding what she was going through? Maybe you could have done some things differently, spend more time, and
Um, yes, but I think that's part of a maturity standpoint.
mm,
You know, I'm 14 at the time, 6 foot, 110 pounds. You know, there's not much that I can do. My sisters handled most of it. They kind of kept me out of it just because I was so young. You know, there was stuff that I didn't need to see. But if it was like if that happened today, I think it'd have been a whole different situation.
sure,
Just because of the way that I carry myself, you know.
yeah,
But I mean, there's regrets. You know, I wish that like there's times that I didn't see her when I could have seen her, or
mm-hmm.
I thought she was gonna be all right.
Yeah,
I try to
sure.
think positive. I didn't think about death. Um,
Parents are usually like your superheroes. They're gonna
they
live
are
forever, and yeah,
basically. I mean, it's just crazy. Like I never thought that I'd see that day. If there's one thing that I wish on anybody, I don't wish for anybody to have to lose both their parents at such a young age. You know, growing up 14 without your mom or your dad, and that's who teaches you everything, that's who takes you everywhere, that's who shows you things. I didn't have that.
yeah,
And thankfully for my aunt and my uncle, Matt and Shannon Kennedy, brought me in, and they took over the mom role and the dad role as best as they could. I mean, they expressed the first day that I moved in that they're not here to be my mom or my dad. They're not here to replace them. They're just here to guide me in life and get me to where I need to be and be the best man that I can be.
yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. You have that support system. Before we jump in, I want to jump into your father here shortly. Tell us a little bit more about the relationship with your mother.
Mm-hmm.
She enjoyed watching you play basketball.
She loved it. I mean, she was at every game, took me to all the practices. You know, growing up as a seventh and eighth grader, I think everybody wants to be a college basketball player.
Yep.
Maybe it's realistic or not, but she wanted it for me.
Mm,
She wanted me to have the best future, and she wanted me to live up to the best future that I can live.
mm.
So we had
You guys had those conversations about
yeah.
playing college basketball.
So we were close. You know, I lived with her. She was the one that raised me. I spent every day with her, and she thought it'd be very, very cool for me to play college basketball. I mean, she was my number one fan, my number one supporter, all that. She'd go head over roof for me.
Yeah.
So we'd have those conversations every once in a while. When it was brought up, it was the right time to talk about it. And she just told me that follow my dreams, you know, like back on the dreams, you know. My mom helped build that up for me early, whether I was mature enough or not.
Yeah.
She just built up that building block, and I just followed through.
Amazing. Amazing. You mentioned your father. Let's talk about your relationship with your father. And he then passed away.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when he passed away?
So it was the next summer. So
Yeah.
my mom was May of 2018. My dad was July of 2019.
And we were together
Yeah,
when
down
he
at
passed
an
away.
AAU tournament down in Louisville.
Why don't you talk about that story?
Yeah, so we're down in Louisville at an AAU tournament. We just came off a big win, Illinois Wolves maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We were out to eat with the team, and that's when my aunt got the news. You know, she held it off on me so I can enjoy my team dinner. You know, having those team dinners and going to those AAU tournaments are memories that last a lifetime, and she didn't want to ruin those memories with telling me that my dad just passed away.
Yeah.
So we got back to the hotel. She told me. It didn't hit me. I mean, I'm stuck in Louisville. My family's an hour 30 north.
Yeah.
I'm down south. You know, it's just me and my aunt. I'm trying to focus on this basketball weekend. Now I got to try to keep my mind straight on that instead of my dad. So he died of heart conditions. Just unexpected, you know. Life comes at you fast, and I just dealt with it the same way that, differently that I dealt with it with my mom. You know, I already went through it.
Mm-hmm.
I know things to do. I know things to not do, which helped guide me through that. I mean, life sucks, like I said before. But just staying strong, keeping a positive mindset, realizing that hard times don't last. You gotta, whenever you go through something bad, you gotta realize that hard times don't last, and everything will get brighter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the sun shines after it rains. You know, so
it's raining right now.
Exactly. So you just gotta stay positive, keep a good mindset with it all.
Yeah, and I was at the visitation.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, the whole team,
black and white J's on.
I did. You remember that?
Yeah.
I did. And you know what I distinctly remember was your sisters being there, Mackenzie and Madison.
Yes,
You
sir.
said that before. I remember them there, and they're your older sisters. They kind of guide over you, and obviously Shannon and Matt,
Yes,
your
sir.
aunt and uncle. But it's just so important, I think, for you. You talk about hard times, but you got to have good people around you. And if young people can take anything away from your story, or anybody that's struggling, I think one of the key is to have a great support system. And we talked about CovCath being that family that you needed, and then your sisters and your aunt, uncle, which is a blessing to have all those people in your life to lead you where you are here today.
It's bigger than family, you know. Like, I can only depend on my family for so much, but there's also friends outside of my family that I can depend on, which helped brought me to life, you know. Help getting me out of the house and go do stuff. You know, they're always there for me to talk to them. And then my friends have great families that offer to take care of me if I need it. So like every relationship will have a building block, you know, whether it's you having connections for me or me having a connection for you, there's a building block to everything.
Sure.
And so like my friends' families would take care of me, buy me food. When my mom first died, they were bringing over dinners for my sisters and I. But, you know, like my sisters played a huge role during all those hard times, you know, just stick together. Call us the trio, and to stick together as a trio, and we'll get through anything in life together. So we've gone through a lot. Hopefully we don't got to go through too much more, but I know if we go through something, that we'll stick through it.
Yeah, and that's tough. I think about, I've interviewed Bowen Hardman, who's going to Ohio State and played at Princeton High School. Kobe Rogers, who played at St. X, and both those guys lost their fathers. You know, at an early age, and had to deal with that. You lost both parents, which is very rare. I don't know of any situation like that. So for you to be the man you are today, and you know, get through all those things, I think a lot of young people out there really need to take note that you can't just curl up in a ball and go to the corner.
You can't.
You got to get through that stuff.
You know, and going through a death, you don't always want to be reminded of the bad times. You know, I don't want to be reminded of me sitting in a hotel or a hospital room watching my mom die. I want to be reminded of all the good things that we had. You know, the dinners, the talks, the basketball trips, the vacations. You want to be reminded of the good things. I was listening to a podcast yesterday.
You a podcast guy?
Everyone. It was with Joe Burrow, so
Okay.
it had my
Oh
attention.
yeah, I saw that.
He got asked why'd he go out after they lost the Super Bowl, and he said, you know, losing the Super Bowl sucked. I could either go sit in a corner and cry about it and dwell in all that we just lost the Super Bowl, or I can go out and I can celebrate all the good things that we accomplished this year.
I love that.
So, you know, you want to remember the good things instead of the bad things. You know, 100 good things are way better than one bad memory.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
You're a big Bengals guy, aren't you?
I mean, now that they're getting
Joe
better,
Burrow?
I'm starting to get up there.
You starting to get up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not so good in the past, but they're gaining my respects.
Okay. All right. Good deal. So, Mitchell, normally every guest that I have come on, I usually listen to their story, and I think about some lyrics from a Jay-Z song. I'm a big Jay-Z guy. Who's your favorite hip-hop artist? Who's your GOAT?
Lil Baby.
Lil Baby's your GOAT?
Yeah.
Like, of all the people, Lil Baby. I like Lil Baby. I like him, don't get me wrong. But he's your GOAT? That's fine if he is.
Probably Drake.
Okay, Drake's your GOAT?
But I like to switch it up. You know, I can listen to rap, or I can listen to country music when it's summertime with the windows down.
Okay.
But my go-to before games is most definitely rap. So Lil Baby, Lil Durk, some Gunna, and then a little like Drake, a couple Lil Wayne songs, his old songs.
Okay.
I got a whole playlist of just a bunch of songs that I listen to.
Get you hyped up.
Yeah, you got to get in that zone.
Yeah, for sure. I always like hearing what kids listen to before games. So
I know some kids it'll be like country music before games. I'm like, man, like how do you do that? Or Reed Shepherd, you know, on my AAU team does not listen to music before games.
Really?
I'm like, bro, how you do that? Like,
what does he do? Just visualize and focus in, meditate?
I guess. I mean, I don't know how he does
it. It works for him.
I'm big on music. I'm always listening to music, but I mean, everybody's got their own way of doing things.
That's true.
So, and whether or not you understand it or not, it's the way of doing it.
Everybody's got their own thing. So what I did for you, and I've done something different this time.
Mhm.
So I usually listen to everybody's, story, and then because I'm such a big Jay-Z fan, I know all of his, music and all the lyrics and all that.
I'm gonna be for real with you. I don't think I've listened to Jay-Z more than like 4 times.
Oh, that's going to change today, because I'm going to get you a whole list of songs.
Am I gonna be playing it on the way home?
Oh, hell yeah, you are. So recently, Kendrick Lamar just released an album. Okay, did you listen to his new album?
I did not.
It's a great album. So the teaser he released, the song that teased the album, is called "The Heart," Part 5. And I mean, it's a fascinating song. It's really deep lyrically, and there's a video that goes with it where his face changes into different people. And it really struck me at the end of the song. He transforms into Nipsey Hussle. You familiar with Nipsey Hussle, the rapper who got? So Nipsey Hussle got gunned down in Los Angeles, killed right outside of the store he owns, and it was just a huge tragedy. Nipsey Hussle was just such a great guy in the community, and his family has really been struggling with his death. And so what happened was, in this song, Kendrick Lamar in the video transforms into Nipsey Hussle. His face changes to Nipsey, his like mannerisms, and he starts rapping like Nipsey. And what he was doing was, as he was rapping as if he was Nipsey talking to his family. And he's like, hey, I'm all right. And he was giving them like bits and pieces of advice. And that just, when I heard that song, man, it really, really hit me. And then when I was coming into this interview, which I don't prepare a lot of stuff because I don't know what you're gonna bring. I got some stuff, but I actually prepared, and I'm gonna give it to you when I finish reading it. I actually wrote out the Jay-Z lyrics.
You typed it out?
I typed it out, and I tell you why I did that. And I'm gonna actually give this to you, and I highlighted it. It's the chorus to his song "Regrets," which is on his first ever album called "Reasonable Doubt." For any Jay-Z fan out there, most people would tell you Reasonable Doubt is his like #1 album.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's his first album. He spent his whole life, he always says he spent his whole life creating this album. He's got this song called "Regrets." Okay, and I asked you about regrets earlier. And
back on regrets, you don't want to live in regret. You're going to have the regret sometimes, but you're going to have to get over it, or else it's just going to haunt you for the rest of your life.
I love it.
So you just got to, life's a learning lesson. So, like, things that you didn't do that you regret, make sure that you don't do it when another situation comes.
Absolutely. Well, so what you're saying is like, we have not, so for people out there, we don't talk about anything prior to this.
The only thing we talked about is if I could do this interview or not.
That's it. This is all off the cuff. So when I was thinking coming in here, and I'm thinking about your mother, because I know you had such a close relationship with your mother. You guys talked a lot. And I went and I listened to Regrets, and I'm like, I feel like this, what I'm about to read to you, is your mother talking to you. So much like Kendrick Lamar, when he transforms into Nipsey Hussle, and he was rapping to Nipsey Hussle's family. That's kind of what I'm doing for you. So these are the two choruses. So I'm going to read the first chorus to you. In order to survive, you got to learn to live with regrets. On the rise to the top, many drop. Don't forget, in order to survive, you got to learn to live with regrets. This is the #1 rule for your set. In order to survive, you got to learn to live with regrets. If through our travels we get separated, never forget, in order to survive, you got to learn to live with regrets. The second part to the chorus. You used to hold me, tell me that I was the best. Anything in this world anything in this world I want, I could possess. All that made me want is all that I could get. In order to survive, got to learn to live with regrets. When I was young, you used to hold me, told me I was the best. Anything in this world I want, I could possess. All that made me want is all that I get. In order to survive, got to learn to live with regrets.
That's facts.
Isn't it?
That is facts.
And I feel like you talk, like your mom would tell you, you used to hold me, she used to hold you, tell you you're the best. Like I feel, and in one part, if through our travels we get separated, and you and your mom were separated, you know. So I want you to have that.
Man, I appreciate it.
Was that pretty good? Was that?
It's the truth. I mean, you know, you're gonna have regrets with them. It's everything. You know, regretting I should have worn this outfit instead of that outfit, or I should have made that pass instead of that pass, or I should have made that turn instead of that turn. I mean, there's regrets with everything. You know, it's just a part of life, and you gotta live with it and move on. I mean, it's always gonna be there. But you just need to be on the positive side of it, and then just learn from it.
No question.
They used to hold me. I mean, she used to hold me and tell me that I was the best. Tell me that I can be anything in this world that I want to be. I can do whatever I want to do as long as I set my heart and my brain to it. So, I mean, I didn't realize it at a young age, but like playing the memories through my head as I grew up, and just seeing that, and then seeing like what I've accomplished. It's like, man, like she really told me that I can do anything as long as I set my mind to it.
And you will. And like the items you showed, your progress as a person, you know, even as a player, has been tremendous. And it's just, I think, only the tip of the iceberg. Like college, you're going to continue to, you know, grow and mature. And you've got a lot of people that support you. Yes, I support you. I'll be there. I'm going to come up to Miami and hang out.
I'll get you some tickets and hopefully keep you away from Brick Street.
I'll stay away maybe once. No, yeah, I might go in there once. I might go in there, check it out one time.
You might need to come back home and, you know, get your old head back to bed. Take care of your bunny.
We'll see about that. But I wish you the best in these next 4 or 5 years in college and beyond that, man. Your family's watching over you. So
yes, sir.
I appreciate you coming on What's in Your Bag.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me on.
It's
been a blast.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir.
All right, Mitchell. So one of the things people love about coming on the show, besides talking to me, is getting free food. One of our sponsors, Penn Station, a bunch of free food, free coupons and subs for you there.
I appreciate it. I mean, I love food. I love to eat. I love Penn Station. There's one 2.5 minutes from my house. It's right down the hill.
What do you get?
I get the pizza.
Oh, the pizza sub.
Best believe I'll be there tomorrow. Give me some pizza subs.
Now do me a favor. Give Penn Station a shout out.
I appreciate it, Penn Station. I'm a big fan. I love your food. I'll most definitely be using these coupons. Thank you.